Today I want to teach you something I learned from the book The Path to Enlightenment by the Dalai Lama, which is something I would really recommend you read if you have the time, if you're interested in Buddhism, of course, because it's a very comprehensive book about Buddhism. I mean, Buddhism has so many aspects, it has so many different schools and practices and different approaches that you can easily get lost as a beginner. And so this book I would recommend if it's like your first encounter with Buddhism. And something I want to talk about today is the topic of how to find a good teacher according to Buddhism. And this is something that is not only applicable to the spiritual teachings and the spiritual path, but also how to spot any person that you want to learn something from and really evaluate, is this person more evolved than you and therefore has something to offer to you? Of course, every person has different areas he's knowledgeable about and developed in, so you cannot apply this to every aspect of the teacher's lives, but to the topic that is he wants to teach you, you can apply these principles. And bear with me while I'm looking down from time to time. I made some notes here so I don't forget anything from the book. So the first thing that Buddhism notes, or the Dalai Lama writes about, is to make sure you have a good personal connection with the teacher. If you choose someone as a teacher in a long-term relationship, you really have to get along personally as well. So it's not only the content, but also how you like the way the content is presented to you and that you feel something, some connection to that teacher. So that's the first important point in any teacher and student relationship. The second thing is that Buddhism says the teacher should have the 6 basic and 4 altruistic qualifications. And the 6 basic qualifications are: he has to have received the higher training in discipline. So in Buddhism this is defined as the discipline of the path, and this would also apply to different areas. So you don't want to obviously learn from someone who hasn't really studied the topic deeply. And then the mind of the teacher should dwell in the serenity of meditative concentration. So you have to really feel that the teacher is not somewhere up in his concepts and not connected to the present moment, not connected to his body out of somewhere just what he learned and not has applied this in his own life. Then thirdly, he has to have higher training in wisdom, and that means he has to have insights into the deeper level of truth and uncovering of illusions. The 4th basic quality he should have is he has heard many teachings from completely different and competent masters. So make sure to sometimes challenge your teacher with like different questions from different areas and make sure he has really explored many different areas. The 5th qualification you should have is an awareness that can perceive emptiness. So this is really advanced already, and for the beginning student this might not really apply, and you can find great teachers that don't have this insight as a present state of awareness. And so you really have to judge where you're at on your personal level as well to make sure the teacher is at a higher state. And the 6th qualification he should have is he has more learning and realization than the students. And this is something I just mentioned. You have to make sure he knows more than you, which doesn't mean he has to be fully realized in every case. You can find somebody that just pulls you along just what is right for your present moment, and then you can also move on to other teachers if the teacher doesn't evolve himself faster than you do. And I think this applies here to many teachers on YouTube, where you watch videos like mine and you see the person like kind of live in how he develops through the path himself. So for example, you will watch my videos, and if you continue to watch them, you will maybe notice that I myself evolve. And so at some point maybe you grow faster than me, and so you have to search other people for advice. But for some it might be right, and we might grow together at this similar pace, so that could fit. And then the 4 altruistic attitudes a teacher need to have is number 1, skill and spontaneous creativity in applying the methods for generating progress within disciples whom they teach, out of a pure motivation, free from grasping for wealth, fame or power. And I'm sorry here if the noise is too loud from the airplanes, but I hope you could understand this. And the second altruistic attitude is enthusiasm and joy in giving time and energy to teaching. And these 2 points means you have to get a feeling for how the teacher is presenting the material. If he's doing it for his own, not for his own benefit, but for the enjoyment of it and for the student. And this is really something, there's no hard-nosed way to analyze this and ask something, or it's just a feeling. But I think this will point to something you can work with. And then thirdly, diligence and perseverance in teaching. So even if you ask him 10, 20, 30 questions, he should still keep his patience and be willing to answer your questions or work with you at least. Which doesn't mean it has to go on forever, because sometimes the right answer is there is no answer, so or figure it out yourself. Might also be an answer to some questions. And then the last one is beyond losing patience with disciples who practice poorly. So he will not lose his temper when you are not evolving, and he will always give you the teaching that is right for you, because he acts from this place of deep insight into personal and human development. So he will know that people are at different stages of development, and really fit his teaching to your individual level, which will always cause you to grow and to learn, so that this shouldn't actually happen, that you practice poorly. So if you practice poorly, of course, get in touch with why you are doing that, but it might also be an indicator that the student and teacher relationship might not be the one you need. It might not be motivating enough for you. And then the last point I wrote down is the principal subject to be learned is the nature of the 2 levels of reality, the stages of which can be approached through a combination of hearing, contemplation, and meditation. Always remember contemplation. It is the analysis and investigation of the teachings through the use of reason. So yeah, these were my insights from this particular topic in the book The Path to Enlightenment by the Dalai Lama. I hope you like it, this information, and yeah, I encourage you to learn with me, always grow, advance yourself, and keep watching my videos. See you in the next one. Goodbye.